Welcome to another edition of Entrepreneurs and Fuego, where we're documenting the journey of entrepreneurs, one digital footprint at a time. With me, I have my main man. I was gonna butcher your last name.
I know, it's a difficult last name. I know.
Michael Caplice.
You got it.
And I was
Perfect.
going to say Caplice because it sounded very Italian or something like that.
People think it's Italian, but it's not. It's actually French.
Really?
Yeah, but people butcher it all the time, and I just I don't pay any attention, to be honest with you.
But it's actually not a Hispanic name.
It is not.
Yet you are a financial advisor, a financial genius when it comes to educating the Hispanic market. Tell us a little bit more about what you're doing.
Absolutely. So I guess to start off my story, I got to talk about my parents. My mother is from Peru, and my father's from Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
You know, Peru and Ecuador are enemies, right?
Absolutely. But you know the food is better in Peru. I hate to say it. The ceviche is better in Peru.
A complete disagreement right now off the bat, brother.
Do we have to stop the interview right now?
We're gonna edit that part right there, and I want to say that the ceviche in Ecuador is far better, but that's okay. I've tried it. We don't have potatoes on the ceviche. Okay, it just does not happen that way. But anyway, my brother, keep going.
Yeah. So. To tell that story, I guess I need to start with my grandparents in Peru. My grandfather was an agricultural engineer. He ran a sugar plantation in Peru. My grandmother was a principal, and she was a teacher. They had 9 children. So my mother is one of 9 brothers and sisters.
Big families down
there. Big
like
families, yeah.
12, 13 uncles and I mean, it's just
absolutely.
horrible.
So my grandfather was the patriarch of the family. He was very well respected, and he instilled these morals and values in his children. And he stressed the importance of education. You know, he really stressed that, and my grandmother as well. So long story short, 5 brothers and sisters immigrated to the United States. They've settled here in the Southwest, mostly in California, Nevada, Arizona. My mother, like I mentioned before, married a gentleman from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So it's a very interesting cultural experiment at home. You know, my father is more introverted, more like New England type, very quiet, very reserved, very intelligent, and my mom is very feisty Latina woman. But so I have great parents, very lucky in that sense.
So you get that background and that combination.
Absolutely.
And here you are doing a lot for the community.
I am, and the reason I am is because I'm very passionate about it. Because my generation, you know, the offspring of my aunts and uncles and my parents, this country has treated us very well. We've had amazing opportunities in this country. Some of us work for Fortune 500 companies. Some of us have started our own businesses. I served in the military here as well for 7 years. We're very proud to be Americans. This country has afforded us great opportunities. And so that's why I'm passionate about the Hispanic community, because I want to bridge that gap. I want to be able to connect with the Hispanic community and provide resources, guidance, to make sure that Hispanic business owners here in Phoenix, here in Arizona, they're able to grow, expand their businesses, but at the same time invest in their families. That's what I'm really passionate about.
That's really cool, and that's admirable, because a way of giving back is by telling your story.
Sure.
Here, because thousands of people are going to be looking, and they're going to be watching, and they're going to say, you know, he can do it. He came from this type of background. Heck, I can do it myself. So you're inspiring other people to kind of follow in your footsteps.
Well, that's very nice of you to say. But
absolutely.
Yeah, no, this is my story. This is what I'm really passionate about. I want to connect with the Hispanic community. There is an incredible story that's going on, that's occurring here in Arizona. There's been an explosion of growth with Hispanic business owners. That's a story that's not told. You know, you don't turn on the news, you don't hear about from 2007 to 2012. There's a 70% increase in Hispanic business owners in this state alone. And even in 2015, there's over 123,000 Hispanic-owned businesses. It's an amazing story. It's an amazing narrative, which isn't being told.
And you know, what we hear about Hispanic business owners, and unfortunately, the image that Arizona sent to the world is that, oh, it's anti-immigration, or we hate immigrants, we just throw them out and everything else. And there was a tremendous exodus of residents of Hispanics here in Arizona. I remember, you know, this is like 4 or 5 years. It's just an exodus. They just got out because of that.
Absolutely.
Yet there's been a resurgence, is what you're saying, of business owners over here, despite all these obstacles.
Absolutely. Actually, if you look at the statistics, it's an amazing story, because you're absolutely right. There's been a lot of negative political headlines here in Arizona. But when you look at the statistics, there's been tremendous growth. And another interesting fact is 54% of Hispanic-owned businesses here in Arizona are actually owned by women, which is unbelievable, which is fantastic. So when you look at microfinance statistics,
yes,
what's great about women business owners and entrepreneurs is when they do start their businesses, they're more likely to invest in their families than men, which is an amazing story, which is so healthy for society here.
And so what you do is you try to provide that education, that financial education for those entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. So especially when it comes to the adjustment, if you're a recent immigrant to the United States, you need to educate yourself. You need to know how to plan for retirement. You need to know how to establish a business, how to get a commercial loan. All these things, we have great products and solutions, but we're not educating the Hispanic community enough.
Where are they going right now? I mean, for that type of education, what kind of resources are out there?
Well, a lot of times I find that they rely upon their families, they rely upon their friends, they're taking loans out from friends and family, but there's so many resources available to them that they're just not aware of. So this goes back to trying to bridge that gap. So what I'm trying to do is, I want to run workshops, I want to run training seminars, I want to be able to offer my courses in Spanish. So I think that's a tremendous way to be able to connect with that community as well.
There are just wonderful people out there in the community right now that are working with the Hispanic business owners and trying to educate them and everything else. And what you're doing, though, I mean, you're taking the leadership role in trying to do this, and that is really fascinating.
Thank you.
Let me ask you, so in providing workshops and education for the Hispanic, do you see a kind of a list of needs that they have, and do you have like a priority of what a business owner should know, or this is the first thing that they should know, second, third, and fourth? Absolutely.
So what I'm really passionate about, and I think I mentioned it before, is investing in your family.
Okay.
Taking care of your family. So when I sit down with a prospective client, an Hispanic business owner,
yes,
we kind of cover all the bases. More importantly, we talk about retirement planning. We talk about life insurance. We talk about ways to invest in their family, like a 529 college education fund, so they can invest in their children, and they can set up, college savings accounts for them, which is tax-free, 20, 30 years down the road. So these are, solutions that are available to them, but it's all about bridging that gap. It's about having that conversation, having that seminar, having that workshop. And I'll be honest with you, when I look out at the audience and I make some of these key points, their eyes just light up, because they didn't even realize that those solutions are there. Yeah, absolutely. So I love that. I'm really passionate about that, and I'm very excited to go into work every day.
That's amazing, man. I mean, where did you, were you always this passionate? Were you always an entrepreneur like this, or is this something that just came about in the last few years?
So a little bit about my background.
Yep.
So I mentioned my parents. My mother's from Peru. My father's from Cape Cod, Massachusetts. But my father was an expat. He worked for an oil company, and we actually jumped from country to country when I was growing up. So mostly in South America, Argentina, Venezuela, Peru. Didn't get a chance to go to Ecuador. didn't get a chance to try some beach in Ecuador.
You didn't get to paradise.
Didn't get to paradise. You're right. You're absolutely right. So at a very early age, I was exposed to different cultures, different languages, different perspectives, different religions. So that's helped me tremendously as I start my business here in Arizona. But yes, that passion has always been there, and it goes back to my family. My family, I have great parents, great structure, great support. They're my biggest champions. So they've set forth for me a great path. And that's why I'm so passionate, because I definitely want to give back to this Hispanic community, because I see tremendous opportunity and potential there.
What is your biggest challenge right now? What is your biggest frustration?
Biggest frustration is Hispanic business owners, they need to empower themselves. Sometimes they're a little bit too timid. Sometimes they distrust the financial services industry. There's so many solutions and products available to them, and I just, sometimes they're a little bit too timid. They're doing amazing things. They're growing their businesses on their own without any formal education.
Right.
So if they would just reach out a little bit more, or if they would attend those workshops, if they attend those seminars, they could experience tremendous success.
Did you see that catch?
That was a great catch, by the way.
Well, that's the Ecuadorian in me, because Peruvians can't catch like this. You're awesome, man. I want to give you a little gift for being here today. And
sure.
This is a t-shirt. This is everything that you talked about, all the virtues that you're talking about, I think are summarized in this little booklet right here. Simplicity, discipline, humility, kindness, and honesty. And I tell you, man, as one hispano para otro, muy orgulloso de ti, muy orgulloso de todo lo que estás haciendo. Y eres en realidad un reflejo de tu familia, eres un reflejo de tus padres, es un reflejo de tu país, es un reflejo de la cultura latina. Y eso es muy importante para todos nosotros, porque así nosotros, la gente que está viendo este programa, Entrepreneurs en Fuego, you caught that, right? Oh, no, I'll translate it for you. Just Google Translate. Eres un orgullo para todos nosotros.
Muchísimas gracias.
Y queremos nosotros apoyarte de la mejor manera posible, si es que podemos proveerte con espacio aquí en The Office Pile para que hagas tus seminarios. Aquí estamos para servirte, mi hermano.
Muchísimas gracias.
Eres mi hermano, my brother.
Un placer.
Un placer, mi hermanito. Gracias. Aquí te voy a dar tu camiseta. Llévesela para usted.
Perfecto.
Está chiquita, pero ahorita te la vamos a cambiar porque tenemos extra large y más grandes.
Pero también, ¿sabes lo que falta? Falta una bandera de Perú en tu oficina. Yo lo traigo. Yo lo traigo cuando venga la próxima vez.
¿Sabes qué? Los peruanos son chéveres, pero todavía no aprenden a jugar al fútbol tan bien como nosotros.
No me lastimes así.
Espérate,
pues.
Ecuador número 1 ahorita en Sudamérica.
Están jugando muy bien. Están jugando muy bien. Es verdad.
Y con eso, estamos afuera.